Welcome to Cape Breton Movers and Shakers, where we have conversations with people who are doing positive things here in Cape Breton. I'm Richard Lorway, president of goCapeBreton.com, and with me today is Chester Borden, executive director of BGC Cape Breton. Welcome, Chester.
Morning, Richard. How you doing?
Excellent. So you've been working with youth a long time now. How and when did you get started?
I started when I was about 16 years old, Richard. So I've been working with youth almost 40 years now.
Wow. Okay. And
I was a mentor. I was a mentor with Children's Aid Society.
Okay.
They were looking for mentors for the African Nova Scotia community. So, of course, I was involved in sports and everything. And I just got involved working with the youth. And I went back to school, Holland College grad, child and youth care worker program. And did some, I've always been doing community-based work. And I was the first African Nova Scotia student support worker hired by the Cape Breton Victoria Regional School Board at that time, before I came over here.
Wow. Okay. So in the early days, it was not BGC Cape Breton. It was the Whiney Pier Boys and Girls Club.
Well, our ties, we can go back to the Police Boys Club here in Sydney.
Okay.
It was over in town at that time, and then when it moved to the Pier here, Gordy took it over, Gordy Goss, and
Right.
He ran independent as the Whiney Pier Youth Club, because he told me that the needs of the Boys and Girls Club at that time did not fit the needs of our community.
Right.
And then I came here in May 1st, 2005. I was here about 2 or 3 years. And then a friend of mine was doing community economic development work. And she was the Eastern manager for the Boys and Girls Clubs. And she looked me up and we met, drove around the community, told her the needs and concerns of the club and the community. And she said, that's what a Boys and Girls Club does. So we rejoined the national body in 2010.
Right. Okay. And how the types of programs you offer and the people you serve. Can you tell me a bit about that?
All right. We run on 2 cycles. We do a school year program, 10 months of the school year. We're just starting our school year for this year, September. And then we also run an 8-week summer program. A lot in the summer is about recreation. The golden carrot, as we say in the summer, is we take the kids down to Shady Camp Island camping. We usually take 2 groups. We go down the 3rd week of July, 3rd week of August, and we have a 24-passenger bus. So without COVID restrictions and everything, we would pack the bus and take 24 kids down the Shady Camp Island for 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, bring them back on a Friday. And we've been doing that for 13 years. So summer's a lot about rec, get out to the beaches, walking trails, splash parks. Again, anything the youth want to do that we can do with them. We take them places. I like doing a lot of rec. Plus, we use the sports facilities that we just built in the back of our club. We have an outdoor hockey rink, basketball court, and we have access to Neville Street Ballpark. So we also have the Blue Jays, which is a national sponsor that gives us some funding. So we run our recreation/baseball program. And years ago, the Toronto Raptors through Sun Life did a basketball camp called Dunk for Diabetes. So again, summertime is a lot of recreation. Get out, get the kids out, let them play, let them learn to be kids again. And then our school year, we do several programs, 10 months of the school year. We try to divide it into 3 terms from September to December, January to March break, and then March break to June. And we usually pick a theme. So the staff will sit down and pick a theme, and then we'll try to reach some goals doing those themes. But in between those programs, we had drama, cooking class. We do a food program. We have our summer garden. I forgot to mention that. Lot of recreation. We started a cheerleading physical activity program. Mainly the girls will attend that program. What else? With our teens downstairs, we do financial literacy with them. Sexuality program. Mental health is huge now. So we do a program called Flex Your Head. And I'm probably forgetting about another 20 programs, but you get it, Richard. We just keep doing whatever the kids need.
So you identify a need and then you respond.
Yeah, we try to get out in front of it, of course.
Right. So how deep is the need for your kinds of programs in our community?
Well, when we built the expansion here, we tripled the size of our old building. It was an old church hall. We filled it within a couple of weeks. So we were servicing 100 kids a day in this small little building. So the last 2 summers, we expanded off-site. We had the Melnick Hall last year. We had the Polish Hall this year for doing offsite program because it was just way too many kids in this small little building, and it was starting to affect our programming. So we narrowed the ratio a little better. And now this year, starting September, we have a second site down at Harborside. So I have my primaries to grade twos staying down in the classroom at Harborside, and then we have the rest of the kids up here on site.
Gotcha. So you mentioned you rejoined BGC Canada recently, and how does that affect your operations, or does it at all?
Well, we might as well get it clear going through all these name changes because we go by several names kind of thing. It was Whitney Pier Youth Club, then it was the Boys and Girls Club. And then as of April 1st, Boys and Girls changed their name to BGC Cape Breton, we're called. And
Right.
It's like RBC, YMCA, a little shorter name, plus the takeout to gender because some kids don't identify as boys and girls anymore. So
Right.
we wanted to make it more inclusive. So that's why the name changed. So I had to get that out to clarify people because when they call her on the phone, sometimes you say BGC Cape Breton and the phone goes silent. And then you have to say formally,
have I got the right number?
Club, right? So
yeah.
Just for clarification of namesake. And joining the national body of the Boys and Girls Club, I think was one of our best things I've done in my term here, because you're no longer that small little club in Whitney Pier. You're linked to a national body. For example, President's Choice is the main food vendor for all Boys and Girls Clubs. So we received grants from them that really helped us through COVID because we pivoted and started doing a lot of meal programs and stuff like that. So
right,
they're very, very helpful. We serve a lot of meals here.
So food security is part of your mission.
Huge. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the motto is opportunity changes everything. And what do you mean by that?
Every 5 years, the Boys and Girls Club usually change their motto. So they just came out with that one a couple of years ago. And it says, it is what it is. It says that if you give somebody an opportunity, because all the stats and dealing with youth work simply say it only takes one caring adult to make a change in a kid's life. And we're trying to give them opportunities. We try not to set them up to fail. So most of these opportunities are things that hopefully they can continue on. First of all, it doesn't cost much, but hopefully can continue on without the club. So again, the kids run this club. It's their club. So
Right.
Opportunities come from what they think they need, and we try to deliver.
Gotcha. So is introducing the idea of community service to these youth, is that part of your message as well? In other words, you're building the next generation of people who will make a positive difference in their community?
As you know, volunteerism is dying off kind of thing. So I've always had a commitment to community and to youth. But we do 2 programs here, again, national programs, Torch Club, that's for the younger kids, and Keystone Club is for the older kids. And within those 2 programs are volunteerism, giving back to the community, getting out there. I think we have to teach them that you got to give back, because a lot of people have come before them to let this club grow and to where it's at today. So, you got to keep giving back.
Right. So if other people want to get involved on a volunteer basis, I mean, do you look for volunteers? And if so, how do they get involved?
Well, with COVID, our hands were tied there for a little while. So
Right.
we do look for volunteers. You can go on our website or just call the club here and speak to either my operations manager, Rayanne Rogers, and I think my senior staff person, Margaret McLeod, is the main person that moves the volunteers around. For years here, we had volunteers, and most of our staff were volunteers. We have trained youth workers here on staff, and most of them came through the PACS program, physical therapy, ECE, all those youth-related programs. We do a lot of work placements with the students, so we have a really good partnership with NSCC, CBU, and other schools. We had a couple of social workers that came here and did their placements from as far as out west. So,
right. Okay. So you're Pier based. Do you see expanding to other areas of the CBRM in the future?
well, I to say it, Richard, as it is, it's the financial situation that kind of restrains us to just being in Whitney Pier. It's always been a challenge since the day when I landed here, and it still is somewhat of a challenge. But yes, we love to see other Boys and Girls Clubs in other communities. Matter of fact, this year we're picking up kids from 5 different schools now. So we're trying to expand that way and see what we can do. But again, I've been in this game a long time, and the lack of money put into prevention,
Right.
sometimes it makes me shake my head, Richard.
Yeah, because the costs down the road are much higher than, as you say, prevention.
Well, the stat that I like giving out to people is very simply to incarcerate one kid, to send a kid down to Waterville, for example, for 1 year, we're paying, as taxpayers, we're paying between $110,000 to $140,000 a year to incarcerate one kid. I
Right.
think that money could be used a lot better.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So on a personal note, this is clearly your life's work. So what has drawn you to this?
I was telling one of my staff the other day, when I look out here and see the kids running around, I see myself. I was the Boys and Girls Club won't like this. I was a mission kid. They always say, were you a Boys and Girls Club kid when you grew up? I wasn't. In Whiney Pier, if you know the history of Whiney Pier, the first 3 streets was your Black community. And there was at that time some segregation. So I grew up at the United Mission, which is a youth hall on the corner of Lingame Road and Lawyer Street. So
Yeah.
you know, I had some good role models: Jonathan Skeet, Campy Carl Crawford, Joe Worrell, you know, Cotiliac Mitchell, who just passed away. Like, I can go on and on about the role models within my own community. And it was a community, it was a close-knit community, and we helped each other. So growing up in that, that's exactly what I'm trying to do here. As I said, if you ever get a chance, Richard, there's a video online with the Boys and Girls Club. It's called The Value Project. It's the history of the African Nova Scotia communities in Preston, Whiney Pier, and East Dartmouth, and it's tied into the clubs. It's a really good video to watch, and you'll understand the whole history of that process. And when I took over the club here, like we said, I just moved up the road and made it more multicultural, because Whiney Pier was and still is one of the most multicultural communities east of Montreal, right? Polish, Italian, Ukrainian, Jewish, Black, white, Muslim. You have everybody here. So that ties into our programming, like food. You mentioned food. So it's really nice when we get some volunteers and people from the community to come in and cook those cultural different dishes and teach the kids about different cultures.
Yeah. I'm not from the Pier, but I have a lot of friends, and I curl up at the radar base. And I think of the Pier kind of as almost like one big extended family. You know, and everybody knows their story. They look out for each other to a certain extent. And, you know, they may squabble internally, but if somebody from outside picks a fight, then everybody's
Yeah. We have that peer pride, we call it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love acronyms, and I love quotes. So if you ever please come down and see our new building. If you're ever in the building, you'll see a bunch of quotes and put up. So we took the word peer one day and talked to the kids. P is for pride, I is for integrity, based on your family name. Of course, with the different names. For example, my former president's name is John Walaka. You know, that's a peer name, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, through all the different names. E is for equality with all the different groups. And the number one rule at this club is respect. So R is for respect, because I feel sometimes this community does not get the respect that it's owned and deserved. So that is the number one rule at this club, is to be respectful. And like you said, you can come into this community, as long as you're respectful, you'll get along fine here.
Yeah. I totally agree. So, okay.
So to answer your question, Richard, to reach out, yes, love to see 3 or 4 other clubs in different communities. And we're open for discussion. If people want to come down and chat with us, the national office has a kind of like a starter kit with information on how you can become another club. There's only one charter on the island, that is us. So, you know, and we do good work here. I think it's proven in what we do here. You just ask the community, ask the kids, and what we do work, because Whiney Pier has one of your lowest crime rates within the CBRM, because we give these kids something to do, and we also hold them accountable.
Right. Perfect. All right. So final question is, if you had one piece of advice for somebody who wanted to do positive things in their community, what would it be? It's kind of an open-ended question, I know.
My favorite quote is, "It takes a village to raise a child," and that's what we try to do here, tying into that. make a positive change. Make your community better. Looking at some of the kids here, like one game changer that we have here is that through our national office, Best Buy is a national sponsor. We have scholarships and bursaries through Best Buy and Rogers. And as they say, knowledge is power. I have 8 kids on post-secondary scholarship, and a lot of the kids that come here are from low-income families. So when you give them that access to university, post-secondary, college, whatever, as I always say to people, my kids don't want a handout, they want a hand up. So
Right.
if you can help along the way that way and move somebody farther and to get off those cycles that we have, I think working within the community, I love what I do, Richard. I tell people that all the time. I love what I do for a living. And my dad always told me, if you find something you love to do, you'll never work a day in your life. And I totally agree. The fundraising, yes, that kind of bothers me sometimes and takes up a
Well,
lot of time. But working here with the kids here is, I love what I do. If you're going in the nonprofit sector, it ain't about the money. I mean, you spoke about that earlier before we came on camera. It's
yeah,
not about the money. You got rich in the heart, but not rich in the pocket.
gotcha. Gotcha. All right. Well, listen, thanks so much for your time today, Chester.
No problem.
Okay. I've been speaking
Richard,
with,
come down and visit me.
I will do that. And in fact, what I'm also going to do, that video you mentioned, I will link it in the bottom of this post
Okay.
so that people can click on it and go there. Okay. I've been speaking with Chester Borden, Executive Director of BGC Cape Breton, and we'll see you next time on Cape Breton Movers and Shakers.